The cafe window holds the last light of the afternoon, a thin band of gold resting on the wooden table. Your phone lies beside your cup, screen dark for a moment, as the air conditioner hums softly above. People pass outside in small, blurred movements, and inside, spoons touch porcelain with quiet restraint. You sit in the corner, not quite hidden, not quite seen. The bag rests near your feet, slightly open, as if you might need something again before you leave. There is the faint awareness of notifications waiting, though for now they stay silent, face turned upward like a small, patient rectangle. The warmth of the cup spreads slowly into your palm. The hum of cool air continues, steady and indifferent, wrapping the room in a low, constant sound. Someone at the next table scrolls without looking up, their thumb moving in a rhythm that feels almost separate from their body. There are days when care arrives disguised as responsibility. It looks like replying to messages you did not send, checking in when you are already tired, answering with softness when your voice would rather rest. It does not announce itself as love, only as something that must be done before evening comes. Outside, the sky shifts. The gold thins into gray, and the cafe lights grow slightly brighter without asking permission. You glance at your phone once, just to see the time, the small numbers glowing back at you before the screen dims again. The air conditioner hums. By the time work ends, the sky has already lowered itself. You leave the cafe slowly, fingers brushing the edge of your phone before slipping it into your bag. The door closes behind you with a muted sound, and the evening air feels different from the air inside, less controlled, less steady. On the sidewalk, people move with the same quiet urgency. Some hold paper cups, some carry conversations that sound half-finished, and almost everyone glances down at a screen before crossing the street. The hum of traffic blends with the distant echo of an air conditioner venting from somewhere above, as if the city itself cannot quite turn off. There are messages waiting. A small vibration earlier had told you so, a brief tremor against the wooden table that you chose not to answer right away. Care often arrives like that, not in grand gestures, but in tiny alerts that ask for a piece of you before you have gathered yourself back together. You walk past a row of parked motorbikes. Your bag shifts against your hip, and for a moment you reach inside, fingers searching through receipts and keys, touching the cool surface of your phone again. It would be easy to open it now, to let your thumb move in that familiar upward motion, to respond before anyone wonders why you have not. The air is cooler here. The sound of engines starting and stopping fills the small space between buildings, and a thin current of air brushes your sleeves as you wait at the corner. Across the street, someone stands under a flickering sign, their face lit briefly by the glow of their own screen before it fades. You think about the messages without reading them. Perhaps it is a family group chat, perhaps a friend asking for a quick opinion, perhaps someone needing reassurance that you are still there. Each one carries a soft weight, not heavy enough to crush, but steady enough to lean against your shoulders. Care can feel like that. Not a burden exactly, but a steady hand that does not let you drift too far from what needs tending. You answer because you can, because you know how it feels to wait on the other side of silence, because someone once answered you when you did not know what to say. The traffic light changes. You step forward with the others, the air conditioner hum from the cafe replaced by the layered sounds of engines and distant horns. A brief vibration touches your palm through the fabric of your bag, a small reminder that the world inside that device continues moving even while you cross the street. At home, the hallway is dim. Shoes line the wall in quiet rows, and the door closes with a softer sound than you expect. You set your bag down on the small table near the entrance, and for a moment you do not reach inside. The air is still here. Only the low hum of the air conditioner fills the room, steady and unremarkable. You take out your phone at last, the screen lighting your hand in a pale glow, and you glance at the time before the brightness fades. You look at the clock once. The kitchen light is softer than the cafe's, almost hesitant. It falls in a small circle over the counter, leaving the corners of the room in a quiet shade. Your phone rests near the sink now, face up, its dark surface reflecting the ceiling for a moment before another notification pulls it back to life. A small vibration sound. It travels across the wood, a brief tremor that stops as quickly as it begins. The air conditioner hum continues in the background, steady as breathing, as if it has no interest in who needs you tonight. You rinse your hands under cool water. The day clings lightly to your skin, not heavy, just present, like a thin layer of dust you did not notice collecting. Behind you, the phone lights again, a pale rectangle against the dim yellow glow of the room. There is a message from someone who says they are tired. Another from someone asking if you arrived home safely. A third, longer one, filled with small details about something that went wrong and how it might be fixed. You stand still for a second. Water runs over your fingers, then stops when you turn the tap closed. The silence that follows feels thinner than the hum of the air conditioner, as if it is waiting to see what you will do next. Care often looks like replying when your shoulders are already lowered. It looks like choosing words that do not add more weight to someone else's evening, even when your own feels unfinished. It looks like typing slowly, reading twice, erasing once, and sending anyway. You dry your hands on a towel. The fabric brushes your skin, soft and familiar, and you lean your hip against the counter without meaning to. The phone vibrates again, not urgently, just enough to remind you that it is there. You pick it up. The screen glow lights your face in a quiet blue, different from the warmth of the kitchen light. For a moment you see yourself reflected faintly in the glass, eyes slightly tired, mouth relaxed, neither smiling nor frowning. Your thumb moves in small motions. A reply here. A short reassurance there. You do not explain everything. You do not fix everything. You simply stay long enough for the other person to feel that someone is still listening. Outside the window, the street has grown quieter. A motorbike passes in the distance, and its sound fades quickly, leaving only the steady hum inside the room. You set the phone down again, face up this time, as if the conversation is not quite finished. There is rice left in the pot. A few dishes in the sink. The small ordinary tasks that ask for your hands in a different way. You move through them slowly. Rinse. Stack. The phone remains within reach. Each time it lights, you glance without picking it up immediately, letting the message exist for a few breaths before opening it. It feels less like urgency now and more like a thread connecting small rooms across the city, each one holding someone you care about. Not dramatic. Just steady. You lean back slightly against the counter, listening to the air conditioner hum, feeling the cool tile under your feet. The evening stretches quietly in front of you, not demanding anything more than your presence in these small exchanges. On the table, the phone screen dims once more. You lift it gently, check the time without thinking too much about it, and let the numbers settle into your awareness. You look at the clock once. Later, the house grows quieter. The dishes are stacked to dry, and the kitchen light has been turned off, leaving only the softer lamp in the living room. Your phone rests on the low table now, close enough to reach, far enough to ignore for a few minutes. The air conditioner hum feels louder at night. Without the movement of traffic or the clink of dishes, it becomes a thin layer of sound that wraps around everything else. You sit on the edge of the sofa, shoes already off, your bag leaning against the wall where you left it. There is a new message. You see the screen light up without picking it up, the glow briefly outlining the shape of the room before fading again. It is not urgent, you tell yourself, though you know you will answer before long. Care sometimes waits. It stands quietly in the corner, not calling your name, but staying close enough that you feel its presence even when you close your eyes. You lean back, letting your head rest against the cushion, and breathe in the cool air. The fabric under your hand feels slightly rough. Your fingers trace a small line along the seam, a habit you do not remember forming. The room holds you without asking anything more. You reach for the phone at last. The screen glow at night is softer than it was in the kitchen, almost diffused by the dim yellow light of the lamp. You scroll slowly, reading words that are not dramatic, just honest in their own small way. Someone is worried about tomorrow. Someone else is sharing a photo of something ordinary, as if to say, "This happened, and I wanted you to see it." You type back without rushing, letting your sentences be short and simple. There is no need to fix. There is no need to offer more than what you have. A few lines. The air conditioner hum continues. It blends with the faint ticking of something mechanical in the corner, creating a thin layer of sound that feels almost like a blanket. Your shoulders lower a little as you finish the last reply. You set the phone down, face up this time. The bag by the wall remains slightly open, its zipper half pulled, as if you might reach inside again before the night is over. For a moment, you watch the ceiling instead of the screen. The messages you sent are already drifting outward. They move through invisible lines, arriving in other rooms where someone might be sitting under a different light, holding their own phone in a similar way. You do not see their faces, but you imagine the small relief that comes from being answered. It is not grand. Just enough. Your feet press against the cool floor tile. The air moves gently across your skin, and the hum remains steady, unbroken by sudden noise. You close your eyes for a few breaths, letting the room hold the shape of your day without rearranging it. When you open them again, the screen has dimmed. The time has shifted forward by a few quiet minutes. You pick up the phone once more, not to reply, just to confirm how late it has become. You look at the clock once. The night settles more fully now. The lamp in the living room is the only light left, and it casts a small circle on the floor near your feet. Your phone lies within that circle, its screen dark, the shape of it almost blending into the shadow. You do not pick it up right away. Instead, you lean forward and reach for your bag, fingers slipping inside as if searching for something you forgot earlier. The lining brushes your knuckles, soft and slightly worn, and you feel the familiar outline of keys, a receipt, a pen. The phone lights up again. A new message arrives without urgency, the small vibrations sound barely louder than the steady hum of the air conditioner above. For a moment, the light from the screen reflects faintly on the wall, then disappears. Care is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply the choice to stay available, even when the day has already asked for most of you. You think about that as you sit back down, letting your shoulders rest against the sofa. The room feels smaller at night. The air conditioner hum stretches across the ceiling like a thin line, constant and unbroken. Outside, a motorbike passes once, its sound fading quickly into the distance. You pick up the phone slowly. The screen glow at night softens your face again, a pale light that feels almost separate from the warmer lamp beside you. You read the message twice before answering, not because it is complicated, but because you want your words to feel steady. Someone is unsure about a decision. Someone else is simply talking, filling the quiet in their own room with small updates from their day. You type back in the same tone you would use if they were sitting across from you at the café, hands around a cup, eyes tired but open. Your replies are not long. A few sentences. Enough to say, "I'm here." The air conditioner hum continues. It presses lightly against the silence, making the space feel held together. You notice how your breathing matches its rhythm for a few seconds, then drifts away again. There is another vibration. You glance down, but this time you let it wait. Your hand rests on the arm of the sofa, fingers slightly curled, as if holding an invisible thread. Care can feel like obligation when it arrives in layers. One message after another, one small need following the next, each one reasonable on its own. Yet together they form a quiet expectation that you will keep responding, keep holding the line open. You do not resent it. But you do feel the weight of being someone others rely on. It sits gently on your chest, not heavy, just present. The bag remains on the floor beside you, half open. You nudge it slightly with your foot, then lean down to close the zipper fully, as if finishing one small task might make the room feel more settled. The movement is slow, almost absent-minded. Your phone lights again. The glow is softer now, less startling, as if it too understands the hour. You answer one last message, choosing words that are kind but simple, not stretching yourself further than you can tonight. The hum continues. The lamp flickers slightly before steadying again. You lower the phone onto the table and let your hand rest beside it for a moment. The room feels held in place. Nothing urgent presses at the door. You lift the phone once more, not to reply, but just to see how much time has passed. You look at the clock once. The lamp is turned lower now. The room takes on a softer shape, edges less defined, corners folding gently into shadow. Your phone remains on the table, its dark screen reflecting a faint outline of your hand when you move. The air conditioner hum feels closer. It fills the quiet in a way that is neither comforting nor intrusive, just steady enough to remind you that the night is moving forward. You shift your feet against the cool floor tile, noticing how the chill has settled deeper as the hour grows later. There is another message. The screen lights up, a pale glow cutting through the dim yellow light for a second before dimming again. You do not reach for it immediately. Instead, you sit with your hands folded loosely in your lap. The day feels farther away now, as if it happened in another room you have already left behind. The weight of answering, of staying present for others, has softened into something quieter. You think about the word obligation. How it can sometimes sit beside care, almost indistinguishable at first glance. Both ask something of you. One feels tight. The other feels open. But in the moment of replying, the difference is not always clear. Your phone vibrates again, the small sound barely louder than the hum in the ceiling. You pick it up this time, letting the screen glow settle against your face. The message is simple, almost casual, but it carries a hint of uncertainty between the lines. You read it slowly. Not searching for hidden meanings, just letting the words be what they are. You notice how your body reacts, how your shoulders lift slightly before easing down again. You type back without rushing. A few steady sentences. Nothing elaborate. The room holds the quiet around you. The bag by the wall is fully closed now, resting in a way that suggests the day's errands are done. The air conditioner hum continues its low, even note. Care does not always feel warm. Sometimes it feels like discipline, like choosing to remain gentle even when your energy has thinned. It is answering with patience when silence would be easier. You send the message. The screen brightness fades slightly, and your reflection becomes more visible for a second before disappearing again. You set the phone down, face up, letting it rest where the lamplight touches it. Outside, the street is almost still. A distant vehicle passes, its sound softened by distance, then swallowed by the night. Inside, the air feels cooler, the hum steadier. You lean back into the sofa. Your head tilts slightly toward the ceiling, eyes half closed, as if listening for something beyond the constant mechanical sound. There is no dramatic realization waiting here. Just the quiet fact that you showed up. Not perfectly, but enough. The phone lights once more. You glance at it without moving your hand, allowing the glow to pulse and fade on its own. It can wait for a minute. Your breathing slows. The room feels less like a space to manage and more like a place to sit. The sense of obligation that followed you home has thinned into a softer thread. You reach for the phone again, not to answer this time, but simply to confirm how late the night has become. The numbers glow briefly against the dark, steady and indifferent. You look at the clock once. The lamp is turned off at last. Only the thin strip of light from the bedroom doorway remains, stretching quietly across the floor. Your phone travels with you down the hallway, its screen dark, resting loosely in your hand. The air feels cooler here. The air conditioner hum is softer in this room, almost absorbed by the walls and the heavier curtains drawn across the window. You set your bag on the chair by the door, the fabric settling with a faint rustle before becoming still. The bedroom light is dim. It casts a small pool of warmth near the bed, leaving the corners in a gentle shadow that feels less like darkness and more like rest. You sit on the edge of the mattress without turning on anything brighter. The phone lights up once more. A final message, brief and uncomplicated, arrives with a small vibration that feels louder in the quiet of this room. You look at it without sighing, without resistance. Care at this hour feels different. It is no longer layered with the noise of traffic or the brightness of kitchen light. It stands alone, simple and direct. You read the message slowly. Someone says thank you for earlier. Someone says they feel a little better now. Your reply is shorter than before. A few words. Enough. The air conditioner hum continues, steady as it has been all evening. It fills the space between your thoughts, smoothing the edges of what might otherwise feel sharp. You set the phone on the bedside table, screen facing upward for a moment before dimming. You lie back carefully. The mattress shifts slightly under your weight, and the blanket brushes against your legs in a soft, familiar way. The room feels smaller now, but not in a confining sense. Contained. Your eyes adjust to the low light. The outline of the wardrobe, the curve of the chair with your bag resting on it, the faint shape of the door half closed. Everything appears steady, as if it has been waiting for you to slow down enough to notice. There are no more vibrations. No new glow from the screen. Only the quiet hum and your breathing, moving in and out without effort. Care no longer feels like obligation here. It feels like something that has already been offered, already completed for the day. There is nothing left to answer until morning. You turn slightly onto your side. Your hand reaches out instinctively, touching the edge of the bedside table where the phone rests. Not to check it. Just to know it is there. The numbers on the screen appear briefly when you tap it, a soft light in the dim room. They tell you what you already sense, that the night has grown deep and patient. You let the screen go dark again. The air conditioner hum stretches thinly across the ceiling, then settles into the background of your awareness. The room holds its shape without asking anything more from you. For a moment, you listen. To the quiet. To your own breathing. Then, without urgency, without another reply to send, you lift your head slightly from the pillow and glance once more at the faintly glowing digits before they fade. You look at the clock once. The room has already settled into itself. The air conditioner hum is steady, almost blending into the dark. Your phone rests on the bedside table, quiet now, no light breaking the soft shadow around it. There is nothing left to answer tonight. No more words to arrange carefully, no more small reassurances to send across glowing screens. The day has thinned into a few gentle images, a cafe corner, a kitchen light, the pale blue of a message read in silence. Care moved through all of it. Not loudly. Just steadily. It showed up in replies you almost postponed, in pauses before choosing your words, in the simple act of staying when it would have been easier to withdraw. It did not ask for recognition. Now the bedroom holds you in its dim warmth. Your bag is closed. The hallway is still. You reach once more toward the phone, not out of urgency, only habit, and tap the screen lightly. The time glows for a second, then fades back into the quiet. You look at the clock once.